A lot of creators don't know how to start a YouTube channel. They don't know which steps to follow. And in this video, I help you with that. The first thing that you need to figure out is your niche. Find a niche that is of interest to you. If you have trouble coming up with niches, what you can do is look at Amazon, for example. All the categories in Amazon are technically niches. Are there niches in between those categories that you are interested in? You can also look, for example, at Wikipedia. There is a list of jobs and a list of hobbies on there. And probably one of those hobbies is of interest to you. It helps to have a couple of niches so you can find the niche that is of most interest to you. So you can make a list now and cross off the niches that you don't want to pursue further. To do niche research, create a new account on YouTube. So you have no such search history in that account. So YouTube has no idea what kind of videos to suggest to you. Now start searching for videos on YouTube by typing in your niche, for example, and some keywords behind that. For example, when I'm talking about the DJ niche, for example, how to become a DJ. I'm just spitballing here. YouTube tries to figure out what your interest is, and that interest is of course in the search terms that you search for. So now it tries to suggest videos not only in the suggested part of YouTube, but also on the YouTube home screen, which videos you are interested in. Now watch a couple of those videos and click on other videos in the same niche. Don't do any other videos, only watch videos in that particular niche. To get a quick start on YouTube, there are a couple of criteria that you need to look out for. First of all, look at new channels. If there are channels that are already 10 years on YouTube, that doesn't say anything about how fast you can start a YouTube channel and get a quick start on YouTube. Because if you only find channels that are already 10 years on YouTube, that can be quite a challenge. So you want to find new channels on YouTube. Now look for videos on those channels that have a lot of views. In other words, that is where there is the most interest on that channel. And preferably a channel with not a lot of videos. In other words, they have only a couple of videos on their channel and a couple of those videos have a lot of views. And I'm talking about 10,000, preferably 100,000 views on a video. There are a couple of niches to avoid. First of all, fitness, cooking and gaming. Just don't think about it. Especially when you start, you don't have a lot of experience yet. You need to gain that experience. And these niches are already so saturated and there are so many creators already in that niche. It is really hard to get a head start. So try to pick one of the other niches on your list if these have your priority. The next step is to look at your preferred audience. Who is your ideal viewer? And those are demographics. So how old is he or she? Male, female? Are they married? Do they have kids, for example? Where are they in their life? Are they students? Are they retired already? Because that helps you to craft the kind of content that you want to make. Those are demographics, but probably even more important are psychographics. Psychographics are the motivators, for example. What motivates people? What gets them out of bed? What are their biggest pain points? What do they struggle with in their life? Or the goal they want to achieve. For example, for a DJ, they struggle with learning the skills of being a DJ. So physically touching the equipment. What buttons do you need to click, for example? But also, what are they afraid of? For example, losing money if you're in the money niche, for example. So demographics, age, where do they live, language, for example, but also psychographics, pain points, fears, and motivators. The third step is the content. And I noticed that a lot of beginner creators skip these two steps and immediately jump to making content. The problem with that is that you haven't thought about what you want to make and who do you want to make your content for. If I do coaching calls with clients, 90% skipped these two steps. So I need to hit the reset button together with them and go through the niche and audience again. In order to make content, you need to research what kind of content that you want to make. So you need to do competition research, and that takes us back to the niche research, because the channels that you look at what kind of formats that were popular, what kind of titles do they have, what kind of thumbnails, what are the topics of those videos. And it is really important to figure out what works for them, because they are already on YouTube, they already figured out what works on YouTube, but also what doesn't work on YouTube. So you don't have to make the mistakes that they did, and you can immediately go to the successful formats. It is important that you figure out what works, but also what do you like to make? Because if you only make videos that you know that get a lot of views, but you don't like to make that, you will burn out. If you only make videos that you'd like to make, but nobody is interested in that, in other words, you didn't see that those videos got a lot of views, for example, then you have a problem, because then you don't get views. When I plot this out in a Venn diagram, then this circle would be what viewers like to see. So in other words, the videos with a lot of views. And this is the circle with what you'd like to make. And the key is to be here in the middle. Part of knowing what kind of content that you want to make is knowing what type of content that works and what kind of content that you can make. What is your level? There are two types of content that you can make on YouTube. First of all, the educational content, and second of all, I will come back to that in a minute. The first type of content is educational content. And that is the kind of content that I would recommend you to make, because that is the most easiest. With educational content, you are going to make tutorials. So you are going to focus on YouTube search. Just like with searching for a niche, you want to have videos with a lot of views in the search results, but not a lot of competition. So if there are 2 or only 3 videos on a topic that you can find in YouTube search, then there isn't probably a lot of videos on the topic, and that is a great sign. And if there are a lot of views, then if you make a video on that topic, there is a high probability of you getting a lot of views as well. With making this kind of content, you can practice a little bit. Practicing your presentation, your video editing, recording, etc, etc, etc. Because those are really valuable skills to learn as a YouTuber. And the third one is getting good at titles, thumbnails, topics and formats, because that you will need in the second type of content. The second type of content is curiosity content. Curiosity content is a lot harder to do because you need to have a lot of experience. The main focus with curiosity content is on thumbnails, titles, topics and storytelling. And you can practice these skills by first starting an educational channel. You might be wondering, what is the difference between an educational video and a curiosity video? A curiosity video, for example, is the news. You click on a title of the news because you want to know more about that. Educational content is the content that viewers are actively looking for. Curiosity content is the content that is suggested in YouTube Home and on YouTube Suggested. So the difference is the actively searched for content. People type something in YouTube search, so they are actively invested in that topic, which isn't the case with curiosity. With curiosity, content is suggested to people. A difference is that you need to convince viewers to watch your video on YouTube Home and YouTube Suggested. And you don't need to do that. Well, you do, but it is less important than an educational channel, for example. Your thumbnail can suck in an educational channel if you are only communicating what viewers are getting out of the video. But that won't cut it on YouTube Suggested and YouTube Home, because you really need to convince viewers to click on your video instead of the video of Mr. Beast, for example. This is why thumbnails are so important, because you need to convince viewers to click on your video. And yeah, sure, if you want to do better in an educational niche, sure, titles are important and thumbnails are important and topics are important. but it matters a little bit less. And something like storytelling, for example, is a really advanced topic that not a lot of beginner creators master right from the start. While when I talk about, for example, a tutorial that takes you by the hand, step by step from point A to point Z, that is something that automatically a lot of creators do right when they start. But when you do a vlog, for example, which heavily leans on proper storytelling, most people, when they start out, they don't get that because there are so many things to learn already that gets a little bit shovelled under the rug. Now, the beauty is when you are a little bit more experienced, you can start an educational channel, but mix that up with curiosity content. Because what is the main advantage of curiosity content? And that is a lot of views, and a lot of views fast. And I know that a lot of creators jump immediately, oh, I want views fast. You need skills for that. And the only way to get skills is to do it a lot and practice a lot. And it is much easier to do that with a educational channel. This, for example, is a brand new channel of mine. I only uploaded 8 videos to this channel. This channel is heavily focused on YouTube search, how to zoom in on software, how to get the colors of the waveform to change. Again, how to install, but this time this was on Windows and this one is on Mac. How to create playlists. Really simple tutorials, really easy to make also. These are all search-based videos. Now look at the latest video that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. This video is not targeted towards YouTube search. No, this is a YouTube home and YouTube suggested video. And now look at the amount of views that I got on that video. This video enabled me to monetize the YouTube channel within 2 weeks after releasing this video. But the only way that I could get views fast on this video is because I laid some groundwork. Because before releasing that video, I already released 7 videos in which I told the YouTube algorithm, this is the intended audience. The next step that I'm going to take for this channel is make a follow-up video, because now I know, okay, there are a lot of people that are interested in this video. So my next video is going to be, this video was titled The Silent Downfall of Pioneer DJ. It is going to be something like Pioneer is even worse than I thought, something along those lines. And I mimic the structure of the thumbnail as well, because I know this thumbnail works well. So I make a variation on that, so people will recognize that thumbnail. I can combine these 2 methods with each other because I have a lot of experience. I started 15 YouTube channels already, so I know a little bit what works, and I have developed a little bit of feeling of what an audience wants. But not every YouTube niche is a tutorialable niche. If you want to make vlogs, for example, yeah, it's really hard to show up in YouTube search because you need to give viewers some information. It can take a while for a curiosity channel to take off. And the last step is starting a new YouTube channel. And also some of my clients didn't want to do that, and they are still struggling with a YouTube channel because they are so used to getting a certain amount of views, and they think that they worked so hard for those views and subscribers. But I can guarantee you, if you start a new channel in the same niche, but apply all the things that you've learned from the first channel that you started and you start over, that things will grow much quicker. And yes, you need to start over with, again, 0 subscribers. But this time you know what you're doing. Regretfully, YouTube gives new YouTube channels such a big advantage over existing YouTube channels, because that is one of the reasons that existing channels are struggling right now on YouTube, is because YouTube gives much more impressions to new channels than already existing channels. So if you can leverage that ranking power of a new channel for your brand new YouTube channel, then you can grow much quicker than you did the first time. And it can be sometimes hard to keep your ego in check. And just like in real life, look at what they do, not at what they say. And the same applies for me. Look at this channel, because this is my first DJ channel. I abandoned a channel of 46,000 subscribers with 150 videos for a channel with 0 subscribers, because I knew I can grow much quicker on that new DJ channel. Need help with your YouTube channel? You can book a coaching session, or you can look at one of my courses. The link to both is in the description below.